Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. This is My History in Board Games, the series where I take a look at all the games I've played since I started recording stats back in January 2020. As always, each episode I talk about 5 games. I talk about the first play and first impressions, what I think of the game overall, and maybe if it's still in the collection or not. So with that, let's get into the next set of games. This is 11 to 15. So number 11 on my list is Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards Duel at Mount Skullfire. This was released in 2012 by Cryptozoic Entertainment. It's a card battler game where you have a bunch of cards in your hand, and they each represent a stage in the spell. So I forget the terms for it, but it's like basically the beginning, middle, and end. And at the beginning of your turn, you look at the cards you've got, pick what kind of spell you're going to do. There's different symbols on the cards that are different sort of themes of spells, like very heavy, aggressive ones, or ones that can really screw with opponents. And you decide to put down either just the start for a weak spell, but it'll be quick. You probably go first. Beginning and middle is like a medium spell, and if you can put down all 3, and they don't have to come from the same sets, and you can get some really cool spells out with. So the manual encourages you to read out the name of your spell. So each card has a section of words on it, and if you read them all out, it just produces the name of this absolutely mental spell that you fire off. But it's good to get matching symbols in a spell because usually cards play off each other. The artwork for this is just that kind of kids doodling in school, but like high quality stuff. It's very sort of childish. The names on the games, the abilities of the spells that they do. Back in the early days when we got this, and the first play of this is back in January or February of 2020. It was just a fun game. It was, I saw the bright, colourful, cartoony artwork on the cover, and it was a simple card game. And we had a lot of fun with this back in the day. It did end up just sitting on the shelf after a while. At one point, I thought I was just going to get, because I think there's 4 normal games in the series, so it has a bunch of sequels that you can buy. And I thought I was going to get all of them, but I didn't in the end. And eventually, it just wasn't getting to the table. People didn't find the humour and the puns and everything as amusing anymore once you've seen them a couple of times. And the game is quite simple. It's just playing spells, attacking players, and knocking down health points. But it's worth a try. For a couple of games, it's a lot of fun. I haven't got into anything else because I know they did a big deck builder, the Annihilageddon, I think it was, and then they did a sequel to that as well. And that is more of a proper deck building game. This is just you draw cards and you have a hand of 8 cards at the end of your turn, I think, and you just play the spells and then you just draw back up again. From a joint pile. But yeah, for the early days of gaming, this was a lot of fun. I would play it if anyone ever suggested playing it. I just don't think I'd ever own it again. But yeah, Epic Spell Wars is just silly fun, really. Next up is Azul, released in 2017 by Next Move Games. This is an abstract tile laying game, very well known, very popular. When I first played this back in 2020, I get this with a lot of people I teach as well. My brain could not understand the scoring mechanics of points. This was in the early days of my gaming, so it doesn't seem very complicated now. It seems silly that I can understand it. But yeah, gaining points for when you place a tile, slide it across, points for horizontal and vertical in the columns and rows. And it was always a case of like, I'm just going to sit here and let someone else tell me what I'm scoring as I go. Again, it seems silly now because it feels quite simple. But yeah, it's a really good game. I didn't grasp it very well at the beginning, so I actually moved on to the second game in the series when we started adding Azul games to our collection, and eventually moved through all of them. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago when a free copy landed on my lap. So I just added it to the series, and I found it was the easiest one and the most interesting one to teach new people and get them into those abstract games and get them into tile laying games. It's one of those games that the early rounds are quite simple. You see a number of tiles that fit in one of your rows, and you just take it. But later on, you'll start getting tactical with, if I take this number of this many tiles that are available to me now, what's that going to leave behind? Because I'm going to start screwing myself over with. I could end up with 5 of a tile and I've only got a single square to put it in. That's a lot of minus points. And other people start looking at your boards. It can get quite cutthroat with players who know what they're doing with that game and have played a lot, which is great fun. There's nothing better than sort of like debating which ones to take, and then as you decide and grab like 2 tiles off of one of the factories and move it in, you just hear somebody let out a massive sigh as they realise that they're screwed over. That's always a lot of fun in any board game. to get that reaction from another player. But yeah, it's the original is a really good game. It's not my favorite in the series. That will come later, and it will probably be a surprise to most. But as always, just it's a really good intro abstract game for people, and I will never ever get rid of this in my collection for that reason. Okay, this next game is one that most people probably won't have heard of, and even less would have played, and that's Neon Gods, released in 2018 by Pat Games. I went to a New Year's Eve party at my local game store back in 2019, and at the end of the night I wanted to grab some games, and I got a few small games, but most of my collection at that time was sort of small things like Zombie Dice and Hive. So I wanted to walk out that night with a bigger box game, and the bright purple box of Neon Gods really grabbed my attention. I looked on the back, there was like bright coloured minis and crazy artwork on the cards, and it was on sale, so I grabbed it. So Neon Gods is like it's an area control game, and all the players are gangs trying to control the city and produce the most product. Now, it's not drugs, it's something called Blurb. It's very safe, and so yeah, you're moving your minis around the board, trying to take territory, fight off other gangs, take care of the cops who are always trying to cause trouble and interfere with your businesses. You place factories and other buildings to give you sort of benefits and stuff, and you have cards in a market that you can recruit to your gang. It's a game that I absolutely adore, but I have not played it enough. I haven't played it for a while, and I really wish going forward, I really am going to sort of make an effort to get this game to people's tables more, because it's such a hidden gem of a game. Just the sort of retro 80s, 70s, 80s vibe to it, but it's like future set, and the bright neon colors of everything. It's really good. It's like a rainbow version of the Warriors or something. But yeah, it's not that difficult to play. It's very simple mechanics. It's not there's not a lot of like there's not like multiple actions and things you can do. It's very contained and very simple, but it's a lot of fun. And just talking about it now makes me want to bring it back to the table. So you'll definitely see it on my Instagram within the next month. I'm making a real effort to play this. But that's Neon Gods, and if you ever have a chance to, give it a try. It's good. Game 14 on the list is Hive Pocket, released in 2010 by Gen 42 Games. This version of the game holds a special place in my heart. It's a 1v1 head-to-head chess-like game where you have these hex pieces, and they've all got different insects on them, and each insect, like in chess, each piece does a different type of move, whether it's like the grasshopper jumping straight over all the other pieces, or the spider only moving 3 around the edge. And the idea of the game is to each player has a bee, and the idea is to trap your opponent's bee, all 6 sides of their hex, with either your pieces or their pieces. First person to surround just wins the game. It's one of the first games I ever brought. I used to go to a coffee shop with my friend and play just back-to-back games of it. I took it to work, and I had a friend there that I had some real fun games with. I actually had one once where a game where he went completely defensive, and it was a 45-minute game of just me constantly being 2 moves from winning, and he would always just get out of it and move back, and it was we actually started to get a crowd for that game. It was hilarious. Everyone at my work wasn't really a gamer, but I had people standing around wondering what the hell was going on. But more recently, since I met my now wife, the game has really cemented. It was the first game we ever played together. It was the game that I used to propose to her by sneaking the ring into the game bag, and I even went as far as getting my copy signed by the designer at UK Game Expo this year as well. It's even without all the sort of personal connections to the game, it's a really good to play only game, because there's no board. It's very simple to teach. Very other than that, long game. It's a quick game to play. You can just do back-to-back games of it. There's a couple of expansions as well. You can chuck in like the mosquito and the pillbug. We've tried the mosquito one. I haven't tried any others. And obviously there's the bigger versions, but the pocket version, like just this bag, so easy to take around with you. But yeah, Hive is one of my favourite games of all time and always will be. So the final game on today's list is a game called Element. It was released in 2017 by Rather Dashing Games. It's an abstract strategy game where you are pulling pieces out of a bag that represent the four elements, and you are placing four pieces down and using each individual elemental power has its own ability, and you're trying to use that to change the board state and trap your opponent's statue piece in the square that they're in. You play on sort of a grid board. It's a game I think I just saw it on a video when I was getting into board gaming, grabbed a copy, had never heard anything about it much, and tried it with a few guys at work. We played a couple of 2-player, 3-player games. It didn't really click with any of us, and then it was still in my collection when I met my wife, and we gave it a go, and neither of us really enjoyed the play of it. It's by no means a bad game. Just because I didn't enjoy it doesn't mean it's terrible. I can see a good game there, and I can see why certain people would enjoy it, but it just didn't click with us. It's pretty nice looking as well. There's some really subtle, beautiful art on the board itself. The little statue pieces you get that you can choose, they have this sort of like aged look to them, and they're quite interesting. It's a shame about the elemental tokens because they're just small, almost like the Parma Violet like size and shape sweets, but in the red, white, blue, and black colours. But they feel quite cheap and plasticky. I think they would look really nice now in a new version with a sort of acrylic tiles, say like Azul size square tiles. It'd make the board look a lot nicer when it was mid play. But yeah, for whatever reason, this game just didn't click with us. Let me know in the comments if you've played it. I don't know. I don't see this one often on social media or on any post or anything like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you played this and what you think of it. But yeah, that's game 15 on my history of board games. And there we go. That's another 5 in my history of board games. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the games mentioned today. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the series as it continues. You can catch me on Instagram at AlwaysPlayBlue, and also over on the website alwaysplayblue.com, where I do weekly reviews and a monthly blog. But yeah, I guess that's it, and I will see you in the next video. While trying to record today's video, Microsoft OneDrive tried to log in several times, so quite a few takes were ruined by an annoying pop-up sound. Thank you very much, Microsoft OneDrive. You have annoyed me today.